The things. Right, let's just start. How's it going, everyone? Right. I'm going to make myself big. This is going on YouTube now, so... Sorry, wrong screens. This is all going on YouTube now, so... We're going through the starter decks, alright? So, your leader card is Emir, which allows you to return an ally to your hand, then play a card from your hand. So he's kind of like a better decoy, because you can switch out which card you play, which is really good. So all the starter cards, they have 6 silvers and 4 golds. For golds, you'll have 3 of the same. Everyone will have a Geralt, non-premium because you weren't in the closed beta. Triss, and you'll have Royal Decree, and then you'll get a faction-specific one, which is Kahir. Okay, which is quite good for Emir, but we'll have to look at how useful Emir is in this instance. Silver-wise, everyone gets 1 faction-specific. In this case, for Nilfgaard, it's Peter. Okay, which resets the unit's power. If it's an ally, you strengthen it by 4 base strength. If it's an enemy, you weaken it. And then everyone gets a Scorch, a Manticore Venom, Commander's Horn, a Decoy, which is really nice. Okay, so that it. Oh, and everyone gets a prize winning cow. There's the next one. So the question with this is, what is worth decoying, and what is worth emiring, which is like another decoy in this deck? He could be if like people are wounding you heavily and you can survive and keep resetting it. Maybe. Prize winning cow is not. Death Wish only triggers when it's moved to the graveyard, so you can't decoy that to get a free chort now. So that's not really an option anymore. You can decoy this, I suppose, to do some extra damage. Decoy this to get a bit more threat, especially if they decoy against you. So if you're playing Nilfgaard, expect people to throw cow card because it's back at you. He can only shoot enemies, but you'll have to use an Owl's Thunder to get rid of these. So the minute it looks like starter decks wise, cow card is going to be quite effective. They're going to be decoyed or Owlzord. You could also decoy a combat engineer to try and get maximum carryover. You know, and the rest is fine. I think Scorch is reasonably good in this deck. You'll have to play your swallow potions quite well. Yeah, okay. So looks decent, but I think, you know, with three decoys, you're not going to get much value out of them. It's not a deck which is going to have max value. So in terms of what is the first thing you want to go for that's worth a decoy, have a look. Let's have a quick look. What's worth a decoy in this worth doing? What's that? I mean, Swears could be a decent one, maybe. This guy doesn't trigger. Yeah, Spies. I guess it's good for Spies too, but you've got to win another round. So there's not too many options that are great for decoys. You know, maybe Orcs to lock some units, depending on what the other factions have. Any other bronzes that are worth doing? Vico Vara would be good for decoy. Yeah, that would be pretty good. You could probably afford to get these. They would come out pretty quickly with him. But he's not necessarily one that you want to play quickly. Alright, Skellige. Let's have a look at Skellige's. So again, you got the same golds, apart from Hjalmar is Skellige's unique one. And you do have ways to remove him, which is really nice. You've got an Owl's Thunder. Manticore Venom won't do the job because it's 4 and he's 5 base strength. Because the idea is you remove this guy and he gets extra buff. But you do have an Archer to do extra damage. Oh, this one's great, yeah. Damage a unit by 5. If it will destroy, strengthen the highest unit in your graveyard by 3. So, oh, that's great. Hjalmar and Holger Blackhand work great together. So again, prize winning cow is great in this particular deck. You can ping them with the Brockvar Archer. You can buff them. You get Thunderbolts in this particular deck instead of Swallows, which is unusual. So you may have access to Swallow. You must do. Because I would imagine Swallow is better in this deck. And maybe not even worth it. Because it looks like you're going for a war cry, so you may want to take these out and try and fit something else in. It's a bit unusual, but yeah, you can swallow that and maybe ping it. If you want to, it sounds like it'd be a really good idea to try and go for this bronze boat. If you're using the prize winning cow for a long time. If you get one of these, damage the unit on your right by 1, then strengthen south by 2. If you get one of those, put it next to the cow and buff it. You'll get an endless supply of chorts if the opponent can't deal with it, which is great. Okay, we've got some Warcry. They're great Warcry potential. Panther Sacks, Skirmishers, which are great Warcry potential. So you probably want a 3rd Priestess of Freya soon. You may consider trying to get a Armor Smith as well. This will allow you to stagger these. Although Crush on Crate will allow you to do that as well. You place the highest loyal unit from your deck, strengthen it. The highest loyal, what is that? It's him, which is great. So you don't need an Armor Smith. Because if you have one of these left, then that will be the highest. If you have both of these in your hand, then you get to guarantee one of these, which is great as well. What's worth decoying? Priestess of Freya is an excellent choice. Olga Blackhand as well. Do extra damage and strengthen more stuff in your graveyard. So this looks like a really good, strong deck. Very happy with that one. So Skellige looks better than Nilfgaard in my opinion at the minute. It's got better synergies. Nilfgaard's got a lot of decoy stuff, but not a lot of stuff worth decoying at the minute. Monster title deck. Let's have a look. Now, Skellige and monsters are usually quite good, but we'll have to have a look. Right, so the monster specific is Imlerith. So this is going to be a very frost-heavy one, I can already tell. Wild Hunt frost-heavy deck, which can work quite well. It might be worse. If you have White Frost, that's an amazing card, because it really just adds tempo to your frost. Okay. Now, yeah, so this is all about frosting. So really knowing what other starter decks are around is going to help you here. Your silver is Imlerith, which doubles the strength of frost. And then you've got some of these, which are okay. These are good. You probably want 3 of these because they've got a trio, so try and get a 3rd one. They're common. These are great. You've got 2 Biting Frost and 2 of these. So always rejigger your Biting Frost in the mulligan. Now you don't have any of these things, actually. You don't have any... what are they called? These. Navigators. These are probably things that you probably want to get. They're rare, though. That's unusual that you wouldn't get any of those. Because that can pull you a 2nd one, a 2nd one of that, or a 2nd one of that. Although he can pull one. He can create one. So yeah, it's all about frost. So I'm just gonna leave this one for now, and I'm just gonna look at the other decks and just see how many agile units they have. Melee. Probably that needs to go on melee as well, and some ranged. So you can probably guarantee everyone's going to have 2 clear skies though, so I'm really thinking that frost is not going to be efficient, especially since you have no way of really just, you know, laying it on. You've got 2 and they'll probably clear 2. I think it won't do too well. So I'm not so sure about that one, to be honest. I think the frost is going to be ineffective. You've got no way of moving units into frost either. Okay, Northern Realm starter. Let's have a look. Okay, so your gold is John Natalis. Force all Northern Realm machine units, allies, to damage a random enemy by 2, weaken south by 1 for each one. So, okay. So how many machines have you got? You've got 4, which is decent, I suppose. Not bad. Got Sheila de Tanseville. Play a bronze special card and draw a card. So she's got a bit better deck thinning. And you've got quite a few specials, so she'll be great. Absolutely great. It's only bronze though, but you've got 5. It's a very, very special heavy. 3 armor, 8 strength. Probably not going to do too good. You can remove armor with this. Add 1 armor to ally. Okay, this could work. This could work. Play these guys first. So they add armor to loads of things. And they're agile, so they've got a reload ability, which is quite complicated for new beginners. but new beginners as opposed to veteran beginners like me. But reload 1 means that if you play a unit with reloaded next to this unit, it does some extra. So these are the things you want to place down first. Then you can start placing all your units. These get 3 extra armor each. And these guys, they remove armor from 2 units, be it enemy or yourself. And they boost equal to the armor removed. So giving these loads of armor, which is great. Absolutely great. So these guys, for example, have reloaded. Increased damage dealt by 1. So they damage all units on a row on the opponent's side by 2. So you place that down, which is reload 1. Place that next to it and it'll get the extra ability. That's how it works. I don't know. I like these. I don't know if I like them. They're late game things. But I mean, this could do well. There's no medics. I think you'll run out of tempo quite quickly. I think looking like Skellige is the best one so far. Like, these are 4 strength. You get armor. They do get some armor. But if you don't get these armor things, the Manticore Venom will take both of those out. I'm not sure about that one. I think it's got some decent synergy, but I would probably try and take those out and put something else in. Is better. And our last one is Scoia'tael. Okay, so they get Saskia, which comes out automatically when you play your leader ability. Summons this unit from to a random row when you use your leader ability, which is what order means. Yeah. I mean, that's a great one. Deck thinning, great. Dwarves. I mean, everyone's gonna have an Alzor's Thunder. Everyone's gonna have a Manticore Venom. Looks like you're very much going to stack up on the melee row. You can stagger them because everyone's going to have a Scorch as well. I mean, theoretically, this is a great deck. But we know the opponents are going to have Alzor and Manticore stuff and Scorch. So, resilient buffs. I mean, I think it could work. Again... Yeah, this is good. This is a good deck, I think. Play a random dwarf from your deck. More deck thinning, which is great. Yeah, I would say this one works quite well. But again, you don't get any value from the cow like you do in Skellige, because these can only hit enemies. I would say this one's quite good. I'd have to see how people keep their removal. If you're smart, you'd remove these guys, and then, you know... Then you're good to go. But yeah, so I think in order I would go for Skellige first. Okay, and then maybe Scoia'tael. And then probably Northern Rounds. Then Nilfgaard and Monsters. Let me just look at Nilfgaard. Yeah. I would go, so that's the order I would go. Skellige. So it was Skellige, then it was Scoia'tael, then Northern Realms, Nilfgaard Monsters. Alright. Thanks for watching that particular explanation there. I hope we figure out how to use them. I don't know. I'd like to see it. I mean, I think a lot of people will have kegs, remember, so this is something which... It's very important. Let's just pop into here. So a lot of people are going to have kegs to open when the open beta, public beta comes to fruition. So you're going to have more cards than just these basic starter decks. And it looks like you will have mix and match because some of them, you have some swallows as well. So there are cards that you'll want to switch in and out, and you'll have scraps to start with, and you'll have some rares and epics, and maybe even a legendary if you're lucky, as soon as you start. So I think starter decks are going to be not necessarily completely like this. I think somebody's going to get lucky in a keg and going to be able to get something like Drought, and then, you know, you're going to get wrecked. But so yeah. Be aware, have a think about what cards you want to switch into all of these decks. Like, I put monsters at the bottom of the list, but they could easily be higher up if you get a White Frost. You know, Because then you can pressure them with the weather. If you get Caranthea, definitely starts to become decent then, you know? Because you can start pulling people in, start getting some drowners, and mix it up a little bit, and suddenly your frost is actually effective, and they will go up in the ranks a little bit. So just be aware of that. Yeah. Right, there you go. That was my little